When it comes to fashion playline dolls, companies will often attempt to design dolls that match the style or sizes of other popular doll lines. This way, consumers may feel that they can easily trade clothes or accessories between the new doll line and their old dolls, or that the two will simply play well together and look right next to each other, thus possibly buying more from the new doll line. But sometimes a company will go in the opposite direction, creating something that doesn't really match with anything else on the market in an attempt to stand out. They can't be replaced or replicated because there's simply nothing else like them yet. This can be a gamble. Sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. And one example of a larger company failing to break the mold comes in the form of teen trends.
Get just like you do what you do. Teen trends, teen trends.
Teen Trends were a line of dolls released by Mattel starting in 2005, consisting of 17-inch tall dolls which wore modern Y2K style fashion. However, it sounds like they might have originally been designed in the 90s. My investigation for all of this really started with a Reddit post from Affectionate Cup 9912, who described what they thought the origins of the line was. From there, I was able to discover that this line of toys was actually possibly originally prototyped by someone who's familiar to our channel, Steph Designs Toys. Before she was working on the Holly Hobby toy line of 2006, Stephanie was working on a toy line in the 90s with Mattel that was going to be named something like Teen Dream or Little Miss Teen. Ideas for this toy line included the dolls having makeup which faded in the sun to look more natural and then got darker inside for a more dramatic look. A featured accessory would be a pager, and another idea she had was for the dolls to actually close their eyes so they could dream about their goals. Just pretty cute. These dolls had that unique size of 17 inches tall, so bigger than a Barbie but smaller than an American Girl doll, and wore very 80s fashions and hair, which of course I love. These look so cute. I really enjoyed reading through all of Stephanie's notes, and she includes that they were originally sculpted by the amazing Danzer sisters, which unfortunately I haven't been able to find too much more information about like who those people were. But these sculpts do look like they match up with what would be released with the Teen Trends line of dolls, with of course some updated hair and makeup styles. Affectionate Cup in their Reddit post theorized that Mattel essentially just had too much money in 2003 and had these dolls laying around that had been prototyped and decided to kind of like throw them into the void and see what happens. To add on to that theory, sales of Barbie dolls were down in early 2004, and sales of larger dolls, such as American Girl, which Mattel also owned at this time, were up. So I have a feeling Mattel was seeing a trend that maybe people were just wanting larger dolls more than the smaller classic Barbie doll. So those are some theories, but what does Mattel say about their origins? Well, in an interview with TD Monthly magazine, Stephanie Coda, who was the vice president in girls marketing with Mattel at the time, had the following to say about the line. From inception to research to production, it was less than a year. The goal was to work on a shorter timeline so we could ensure we were capturing the latest and greatest trends in our products, and that our incredibly gifted internal design team nurtured this product from inception to the final designs. The team came up with a few different looks for each of the 4 dolls to share with girls ages 6 to 12 years old to get their insights. And that short timeline only really makes sense considering that the dolls' bodies and head sculpts were probably already designed and finished, and the only things the team would really have to focus on were like hair, makeup, fashion, and branding for the line. So they really had a solid base to work off. Specifically about choosing these larger size dolls, Coda said, "We knew we could better play off the details older girls were looking for in a larger scale and could really make the dolls ultra posable." Which does highlight another cool feature with these dolls. They actually include some ball joints. So at their elbows and their knees, they have ball joints, and they also have articulation at their shoulders and at their hips. So they can move around and pose pretty easily, and they're actually strung with elastic, similar to ball jointed dolls. This allowed for much better movement and posability than American Girls and most Barbies at the time. So Mattel basically took some dolls that they had designed but not released in the 90s, updated them with 2000s hair, makeup, and fashions, and showed them off at the 2005 Toy Fair, which I can once again not get photos of. 2005 specifically is a hard year to find the doll photos at the toy fair. The same website that had hosted photos of Evergirl from that toy fair actually also has a page that they had hosted teen trend photos on, but those photos are no longer available. In a really roundabout way, I was actually able to find the person who took the photos at this event, but unfortunately they don't have access to them anymore, which is a huge bummer. So in this moment, I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody who's doing some really great coverage from toy fairs, especially from doll lines or more like girly toys, because that has not historically been the case, that those have been preserved or shared really easily, and I just appreciate how much easier it is for us to look at them now. Thank you everybody for going to the toy fair. So sadly we won't be able to see these early versions of the dolls, but they must have been pretty much ready for release. The toy fair is held in the spring, and our first wave of teen trend dolls would be ready for consumers in August of that same year, so just a few months later. Then in September of 2005, a webpage for teen trends would also appear on everythinggirl.com, which was Mattel's sort of online hub for all of its non-Barbie girly toy brands in the 2000s.
Get just like you do what you do. Teen trend, teen trend.
The first wave of teen trends would introduce us to the four main characters of the brand: Gabby, Kiana, Deandra, and Courtney. Mattel's 2005 hit holiday toy list describes the line as, "The teen trends dolls are hip, with trendy fashions that reflect each girl's unique personality and style. These dolls have long, beautiful hair that holds sassy styles, sassy detective, and, in the spirit of a real fashion magazine that girls love to read, each doll also comes with her own personalized lookbook. Teen trends are the it girls for fashion, hair, and style." Magazines must have just been like the in thing that year, considering that Bratz Rock Angels, which also centers around the Bratz characters creating their own magazine, would release in September of 2005. I'm sure that that's just a coincidence, though. These dolls all having a distinct personality was a huge selling point of the line. And here are the descriptions of the characters from that toy list. First, we have Gabby. Gabby is the girly girl and adores shopping, watching movies, and relaxing at the spa. Her trendy outfits capture her fun, feminine style with zipper details and accessories, just like something a real teen would wear. Her pretty hair really curls, and she comes with great hair accessories like a brush, clips, and curling iron.
That's so me.
Next, we have Kiana, who's the rocker girl. She has a blast going to concerts, playing her guitar, and writing music. Her contemporary style truly matches her wild personality. She comes with pink gel for her hair and other fun hair accessories, so she can look like a rock star every day. Then we have Deandra, who is the bling bling girl and loves doing anything outdoors and getting her groove on the dance floor. Her trendy velour sweatsuit is the perfect outfit for an active girl. For more funky fun, she comes with clips, a brush, and a hair extension, so girls can create her perfect look. And lastly, we have Courtney, the preppy girl, who enjoys going to the beach, riding her bike, and taking her dog, Francie, to the park. Courtney is charming in casual fashions and comes with bendy curlers that really curl her hair, and other accessories for variety and Vogue, which, like, I'm assuming this is supposed to be describing this doll for an adult, because what child is going to read Variety and Vogue and go, oh, why yes, maybe a child that wants the Courtney doll, let's be real. Okay. The dolls would each retail for $39.99, which is about $66 today with inflation. Barbies at the time would range from like $15 to $25, and American Girl dolls would be around $80 to $100. So teen trends were a solid middle ground in both size and price. I believe this wave would also include two lines of fashion packs, night out and weekend wear. Stock photos of those outfit packs are included on the back of the dolls' boxes for wave 1, so that's why I'm assuming they were a part of this first wave. The night outline would include what the girls would wear on their kind of preferred night out. So our Gabby character is getting dressed up, or is having a dress up night. Kiana's going to a rock concert. Deandra's going dancing, and Courtney is dressed to see a play, which is actually the fashion pack I had as a kid, and you can tell because I have this shoe from it still. This is the only item I still have from that fashion pack. Evidence weekend wear is then kind of like the day version of what the girls like to do on their weekends. So Gabby has a robe and some spa stuff. Kiana looks like she's ready to go film something at a concert with a little badge and her camera. Deandra's going shopping, mini credit card included. And Courtney has an MP3 player and headphones. I'm assuming for a nice little walk, maybe with her dog. And speaking of dogs, a line of pet accessories would also come out, which included a little stuffed dog and a bag which the girls could use to carry said dog, which is just the ultimate Y2K move. A purse for my dog. The webpage on everythinggirl.com featured pages for meeting the girls, shopping for toys, and games, which I believe included a magazine making game that you could then print out, which I swear I've done before, and maybe also another about designing a room. Sadly, these pages are no longer accessible through the Wayback Machine, so for the moment they are lost to time. I wasn't able to find any specific stats about how well the dolls sold, but in the earlier mentioned interview with Coda, she states that sales were exceeding our initial expectations. We're very pleased with the results thus far, especially for being so early in the selling season. This was in October, leading up to the kind of Christmas or holiday sales season. Plus, we are getting strong feedback from girls that they like the dolls because they're new and different from anything else out there. She also mentions that Kiana and Gabby are slightly more popular than Courtney and Deandra, but not by a lot. The dolls were designed to have distinct personalities and unique attributes, from fashion to hair color to accessories. The goal was to parallel a girl's life, personality, or in essence, what a girl aspires to be. The interview with Coda ends off with her saying, "Spring 2006 has a lot of new news."
Get just like you do what you do. Teacher.
And part of that news would be a lawsuit. Technically, a number of lawsuits. So through the 2000s, Mattel and MGA would be kind of locked in a legal battle with each other, partly due to the origins of the Bratz doll line being like a little bit messy, and also partly due to evil big corporations wanting to be the only evil big corporation around. And teen trends would end up kind of getting wrapped into this. So a work about Bratz marketing strategies that's named MGA Entertainment Consumer Entertainment Products Company Marketing Strategies for Bratz explains that in May of 2006, when MGA added Kiana to the Bratz pack, Mattel filed a lawsuit for trademark infringement of its Kiana doll. MGA then decided to withdraw Kiana from the Bratz pack and not use the name in the future. But critics observed that though the brand names sounded similar, the spellings were different, and both portrayed completely different personalities, and termed Mattel's lawsuit as a bad marketing practice. But the thing is, I can't find this lawsuit. Like, I can't find evidence of this lawsuit, and this article, it doesn't cite anything related to it, either about the lawsuit or those responses that they were talking about, which, first of all, is irresponsible because I'm pretty sure this paper is used in classes at a university, or at least it was in the past, so like, boo. All of my sources with my script are in my description. The MGA versus Mattel legal battles of the 2000s onward are pretty well documented and reported on online, and I think a case like this would have been at least reported on in an article once somewhere, but I can't find that or evidence of a filed lawsuit about it. A different article from 2007 in Marketing Week states that MGA Entertainment withdrew the Kiana doll after Barbie owner Mattel claimed it owned the trademark to the name Kiana with its Teen Trends doll line. The two companies are now entangled in a legal battle, which is both more accurate and a little bit misleading because that legal battle is technically not directly connected to the Kiana name situation. It's connected to other lawsuits that were happening at the time. What I think might have actually happened, and this is all in my opinion, is I think Mattel might have instead just like sent a cease and desist to MGA and was like, hey, we have this name trademarked, which they did. In 2004, Mattel did trademark the name Kiana, and 2005 is when the MGA Bratz Kiana doll would be released, and they didn't trademark their variation of the name. Why this kind of matters as well is, if you weren't already aware, a lot of the legal battle between Mattel and MGA at this time was centered around the idea of the brands copying each other and kind of using unethical practices to get an upper hand to try and imitate the styles of dolls that the other company was releasing. So, my scene is a big part of that. But specifically, in 2005, MGA sued Mattel over allegations regarding Mattel's serial copycatting of MGA's products. And it is a little bit awkward to sue your competitor over copying when you then go on to create a doll that's using almost the exact same name as one that your competitor already is using and has trademarked. So I don't think it was a lawsuit. That's all I'm trying to say. I think it was a bit of a quieter Mattel going, hey, stop using this name, we have it trademarked, and MGA going, oh, okay, we are suing you for copying us. I guess that's kind of reasonable. They are similar names. They're very different dolls. Like, these are two very different dolls. It kind of sucks, though, because Kiana in the Bratz line is a cool character, but I digress. But because all of this was taking place during, like, the peak of these legal battles between MGA and Mattel, I think people have just assumed it's part of those lawsuits. And if I'm wrong, please correct me, but I have searched through as many documents as I can find, and I really just can't find any evidence tying this name situation into the lawsuits that were between Mattel and MGA at the time. I've already spent just too much time looking over these for somebody who did take the LSAT twice and then did not apply to law school, so I think I will rest my case here. It was not actually a lawsuit, but if you find evidence proving otherwise, like, please put it in the comments, because I would love to see it. It gets referenced as a lawsuit all the time, and I'm like, I don't think it actually was. The thing to really note with this is Mattel is willing to really just burn money in lawsuits. I think I read somewhere they had spent over $90 million in a few years over this Bratz MGA lawsuit. They're willing to spend the money they have, and I do really think it is important to, like, protect your creative works, but I don't necessarily approve of, like, what these companies are doing at this time. We don't have to love it.
Get just like you do what you do.
With Mattel pouring money into legal situations, we get Wave 2 of teen trends. Wave 2 is where things start to get really kind of murky. So Wave 1 started in August of 2005, and Wave 3 was shown in spring of 2006. So I would expect Wave 2 had been released at some point in between, with the assumption that Wave 3 is coming out in fall of 2006. Maybe like late winter, early spring. I don't know. The Wave 2 stock photos were actually used on the Everything Girl page of the brand, so it's likely that these dolls were ready to go for some time and had been developed really early in the development of the brand, which, remember, is a really short development period, so it's kind of impressive how much they hypothetically created during that time. The Wave 2 line of dolls is basically the same format as the first. The dolls came in these kind of walk-in closet style boxes, just like the first, and had some hair accessories. This time, of course, with slightly changed makeup, hair, and outfits. But was this line of dolls fully released? I'm not actually sure. So far in my research, I found a couple of listings of both the Courtney and Kiana dolls, one of the Deandra doll, which I think was from a bidding site in Mexico, and absolutely none of Wave 2 of Gabby. And because I've been struggling to find evidence of listings of all four of the dolls, I don't know for sure if they were actually all released. What complicates this further, though, for me, is I actually was able to reach out to the person who designed the boxes for the line, Sweet Tooth Designs, and in some emails, she said, first, that yes, the second wave of dolls was released, and I believe they were sold in Walmart and Target as far as I can tell, and then sent a follow-up email saying, I have to say I'm not sure the second line was released in Target and Walmart. Maybe one, not the other? The problem was that the boxes were too tall for the shelves, so at one point we designed them to make sure they were sitting down, but by that time they were dropped. So it is possible that these dolls were all fully released, but maybe just had a really limited run, or were only available at one retailer. Or perhaps maybe not all four of the dolls really went into production. Maybe they wanted to cut costs and kind of test the waters of the second release and see how it would do compared to the first. The point that she makes also about the boxes is really interesting. So we've covered in the past the importance of retail shelf space to a doll line, and how that can sometimes affect how well a doll line does. does. If a box isn't going to fit next to other dolls, this is a lot taller than your average Barbie or Bratz style box, it might not be able to be displayed properly on store shelves. Like maybe they were stacked up on their side, or maybe they had to be on the very top shelf or on a specific shelf that was adjusted to make them fit, though retailers don't really want to do that because they want to be fitting as much stuff in as possible, and making exceptions for one brand can make other stuff sometimes not fit as well. So it gets really complicated, and I could see actually the size of the box alone being a reason why possibly people wouldn't have bought them as much or have been an issue for their production. And it's kind of a bummer we never get to see the updated sitting version of these boxes, because that would remind me a lot of glamour sequence and I would be so intrigued. Something about a doll sitting in a box that, you know, just catches the eye. I actually even reached out on r/dolls asking people, hey, do any of you own one of these dolls? And I didn't get any responses where people were like, yeah, I own one. So, hi, internet, do any of you own a Wave 2 Teen Trends doll? Where'd you get it? Do you have a photo of it? Because it seems like people online, they're saying, yeah, they were released, but I just feel like if they were fully released, we would see more of them. I've been following the listings for teen trends on eBay for a while, and they get consistently posted. They're not super rare dolls, but the Wave 2, I just can't find them. I'm not seeing them, excluding Courtney and Kiana. I'm seeing you guys. Icons, queens, possibly the only two fully released. But the dolls wouldn't be the only part of Wave 2. This wave would also include the Create a Closet line, which would let you build a wardrobe for your doll, essentially. So you could buy a dressing room piece, which came with a body form for wearing outfits, as well as an outfit, a hat rack piece, which came with a hat and some other accessories, and a shoe shelf, which came with some pairs of shoes for the dolls. And you could combine these all together to make her a little closet wardrobe area, which is really fun. I love all these different accessories, and I will say, Teen Trends, the clothing is very high quality. As I was dressing my girl in this outfit I'll talk about later, it's all very nice. The shoes are nicely detailed, the purse looks gorgeous. If I'm comparing this to some modern stuff I'm seeing today, this is really nice. I'm just saying. I have been able to find a number of these on US bidding sites, so I do feel like the closet pieces were released in the United States, though again, perhaps weren't super popular or just aren't up for resale very often. We would also have 2 more lines of outfit packs with this wave, which would be pictured again on the back of the boxes, so that's why I'm assuming these 2 were released then. The first is Going Glam, which are glam looks for the dolls. I think these are actually supposed to be prom dresses because all of the girls also come with their own prom photo. Deandra's, I'm just saying, who is that man? Who is he? I would like to know. With Gabby wearing a pink dress, Kiana in black and pink with a guitar purse, which is super cute, Deandra in a kind of cream sparkly dress, and Courtney in blue. We would also get a pajama party line, which I love. I just don't know what it is, but when it comes to an outfit pack or a budget line for dolls, I'm always gonna prefer pajamas over swimsuits. What is your preference? Are you team pajama or team swimsuit? And these ones are so cute. So Gabby's is this super pretty dress. They all come with their own pillow as well as a little accessory, so she has a lamp. Kiana is wearing a comfy graphic tee and sweats and has this lip-shaped pillow. Deandra has this so cute leopard print look. And then we have Courtney in blue. Poor Courtney. She's fine. It's cute. It's fine. It's just, I'm a Courtney hater. Each of these clothing sets as well would come with a little lookbook magazine thing. And really all it includes is just a little activity where you can learn what does this item in this closet say about you? Or what jewelry should you wear? Kind of things you would find in teeny girl magazines. These sadly have not been scanned or archived anywhere, but I hope that they are. So if you have them, consider making scans. Maybe go to Dollect and add in some information as you find it, because we just don't have this anywhere online yet. And I would love to see it because they do also include some cute artwork of the dolls. I love these of Deandra. These 2 outfit packs would also include the Wave 2 photos, so pretty positive those outfits are a part of Wave 2, even though can't find release dates anywhere for anything, ever.
Get just like you do what you do. Teen Trends.
And because I've already talked about her so much, I did want to take a moment here to talk about my doll right here, because this is the first time I've ever featured my own childhood doll on my channel. So this is my Deandra doll from childhood. The weird thing is I honestly have no memory of like how I got her. I don't know. She just appeared into my life. For some reason, I have a memory that we got her at Costco, which is kind of strange, but I might just have a sort of mental association between her being a big doll and Costco selling big things that my brain might just be like, yes, that makes sense. That's where I got her. I don't remember. None of my friends had a teen trend doll growing up, and I remember thinking about how unique she was. Like, she was really so different from any doll I had seen before. And the reason why I really loved her and picked Deandra specifically is because she had curly hair. I have curly hair when I'm not wearing a wig, which I often am in these videos. And as a kid, I didn't often see dolls that had textured hair or curly hair in general. And also, when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time outside, so I would get really tan. So when I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, a tan girl with curly hair? That's me. I do find that a little bit ironic just because I'm very white, and Deandra is without a doubt designed to be like ethnically ambiguous, with a lot of her fashion styles definitely pulling from Black and Hispanic American culture. It is a little bit funny that I was like, she's the most like me. But I loved her. Her hair being curly was just the selling point. We should have more curly hair dolls. Textured hair dolls. But she was the one that when I looked at them, I really related to her. Not only did she have that curly hair and tan skin, but also wore velour tracksuits, which I've talked in the past about how that was my uniform in my youth. It was a velour tracksuit in a polo and a rain jacket. Don't worry about how I was as a kid, I was weird. I had found her when I was visiting my parents for Christmas and knew that I really wanted to kind of give her a makeover and look into the line. So some things interesting maybe to know about the doll line is, first of all, in Deandra's case, her curls did not survive, and their hair is actually really interesting. So teen trends dolls use a somewhat unique type of hair that's referred to as memory hair. I think it's saran. It's designed to essentially hold shape without heat, so you can curl the doll's hair without using heat on it. That's how the curling iron and Courtney's curlers worked. However, over time, it doesn't work as well, and it did get quite frizzy. Now, I did do a kind of full wash down of her, as well as I tried to do some like boil curls, so I wrapped her hair and then put boiling water over it, and that did work for the most part. Some of the curls didn't hold their shape as well. Some have just totally flattened out, and others have kind of frizzed up. So I think just over time, the hair's not really doing what it's supposed to achieve in terms of holding a shape, even after I tried to restyle it. And another thing that I noticed, and it's something that I actually remember from when I first got her, is the doll smells weird. The plastic that they use, I think specifically on their arms and legs, which is a different plastic than the base of their body, it's softer, it smells like plastic and chemical. It does not smell good. I wish I had smell-o-vision, but also that would be cruel to make you smell weird doll smell. She also was sticky when I first got her, which is never ideal. Now, it's possible that's just from, I don't know, weird childhood, something got on her. But when looking it up, it sounds like the material that they're made of kind of decays over time and essentially oozes a little bit of something. So I gave her a full wash, but these dolls do kind of deteriorate over time. The materials they were built with aren't the most stable, essentially, or weren't kind of created either with longevity or were created using kind of new things at the time, and Mattel didn't really know how well they would last, which, like, she's doing okay. She also has yellowed a significant amount, despite the fact that she has just been in a box for most of her existence. Like, them selling them in these nice boxes is really smart because I just always put her back in her box, so it's not sun damage. It's just the natural decay of the teen trend doll. I did decide to kind of treat myself and go ahead and buy her another fashion pack. I was able to get this one brand new for only $20, so just saying, if you want to collect these, they're not going for too much, and if people start selling them for more, don't buy it. Don't buy super expensive stuff. Just wait till it comes up at a better price. The reason why I really wanted to get her prom dress is because it actually looks really similar to, at least in color, how my prom dress was. Well, the prom dress I was supposed to wear. I didn't go to prom, but I had a prom dress. Crazy stories. But yeah, I also had a cream color, kind of like sparkly, bejeweled, flowy prom dress. So I was like, wait, we match. I'm glad I have her here. I fixed her up. I'm glad to have her like included with the rest of my dolls I've got as a adult collector, because it's really fun to have like my childhood.
They're just like you, do what you do. Teen Trend.
Next, we would have Wave 3, which would be shown off at the 2006 Toy Fair, and we thankfully have some video evidence of. So AOL had actually sent some kids to the Toy Fair to interview people about the toys, which was kind of a cute video. But they captured footage of the dolls, which featured our 4 main characters, each of which had 2 new outfit packs and a brand new character, Rayna, who is supposed to be kind of based on Japanese street fashion. Now, we can't see it fully, but it looks like there might have also been some like beauty salon sets, like maybe a hair salon in the background as well, but that is just kind of a guess. Like, it looks like they had some more things planned, but unfortunately, these would never see the light of day. Which leads me to my favorite question to ask on this channel: what happened? So my guess as to what happened is probably after they showed the dolls at the Toy Fair, they did the math on production costs and what retailers were interested and decided it wasn't going to be financially stable. Also, because I've been able to find such limited listings for the Wave 2 dolls, I wouldn't be surprised if Teen Trends did something similar to Mystics, where they ended up selling the rest of the dolls that they had for cheap to other countries to sell off the rest of them. Considering most of the listings I have been able to find from Wave 2 are from international bidding websites. So I have a feeling they were kind of just trying to like clear stuff out. Like, maybe stuff did better internationally, but if that was the case, I think the line would continue. So again, I think that they were just trying to clear things out. And of course, the main reason behind that is I think the doll line just wasn't selling as well as Mattel wanted. Now, it did get some positive reviews. There's this one from a 6-year-old Allison that's cute. She says, "She can walk and move her arms. Barbie can't do that. And she's so big like me. I like that she looks like my China dolls, but I get to play with her and she won't break into a million pieces." Which kind of highlights how nicely detailed these dolls are. Again, their clothing is really pretty, their hair is nice, they look really beautiful, their proportions are a little weird, but if you can look past that, they're really cute dolls. But the dolls did have a lot working against them. Their unique size would make it impossible for them to share clothing or accessories with other dolls. Like, they could kind of use American Girl stuff, but even that would look a little big on them. There's the issue of them being displayed in stores, possibly not working super well, and also it's possible that the distinct personality of the dolls ended up working against the line. The unique personalities of dolls like the historic American Girl dolls works because those dolls are historic figures. So kids can learn about them and their background and relate to them, but they're not necessarily seeing it as themselves. But I think because Teen Trends was more focused on modern fashion and modern life for kids, they would instead look at a doll and go, "Oh, that's me. I want to get the one that's me." And then they're probably not going to be getting the other dolls in the line that they don't relate to as much. And that $40 price point meant that you're probably not going to be buying duplicates of the same doll from one wave to the next. And unless you really want multiples of them, you're probably just going to get one. So having the waves of these dolls that only really have slightly different outfit styles, just months apart it seems, meant that you were kind of trying to sell the same thing twice to the same consumers, and that just didn't work. I feel like it was kind of a waste of money for them to put together this Wave 2 line of dolls, and they should have focused more on the clothing and accessories, or maybe introducing a new character or two with Wave 2, instead of just repackaging what we're assuming our consumers have already purchased if they wanted to get the dolls with the Wave 1 versions. Probably doesn't help also that Mattel at this time, again, is burning money in lawsuits, and considering that Teen Trends wasn't mentioned at all in their financial reports for 2004, 5, 6, or 7, means that it wasn't making any sort of significant amount of money that they wanted to tell their shareholders about. Like, they always like to mention, these brands are doing really well. Silence from Teen Trends. Nothing from Teen Trends. Teen Trends is not the moneymaker in the family. Because the dolls are bigger, because they have more detailed fashion, and they have kind of this unique hairstyle, I also would imagine they were more expensive to produce. Again, makes sense that Mattel's gonna cut them out. If they cost more to make and they're not selling super well, and their other lines of dolls aren't selling super well, so they have, they're getting a little worried about making money, they don't want to waste money, yeah, it makes sense they're gonna stop selling the brand. Is it sad? Yeah. Also, maybe Mattel was like, "Oh no, our dolls are oozing. We gotta stop making these with this material." Who knows? Does any Mattel employees want to tell me about the ooze? Which is a bummer, because the line, again, they're fun designs, they're pretty dolls, they're wearing cool outfits, and it would have been really nice to see some more diversity within it as well. Like, Rayna was a great start, but would have been nice to see a maybe darker-skinned black character, or someone who's Hispanic. Again, Deandra, we don't really know her race, so we don't know who she is, but we got 3 white girls. We can mix it up a little bit, okay, guys?
Color, style, and it's so wild.
You maybe remember from a previous video that I mentioned a line of dolls called Hot Looks. So Hot Looks was a line from the 80s, which consisted of dolls that had a plastic head and fabric bodies that had wiring in them, allowing for some really great posability. These dolls stood at 18 inches tall, so they're about the same size as our teen trend dolls, and wore a lot of very fun, or hot, looks in their hair and fashion. This line actually only existed for 2 years, with some of the dolls only being sold internationally in Canada. And if you're thinking, wow, this is sounding like a little similar to Teen Trends. Oh, it goes deeper. I believe Teen Trends was actually originally going to be a Hot Looks reboot. Prototype stock photos of the dolls actually include Hot Looks instead of Teen Trends on their little lookbook magazine things. Mattel actually would revive the trademark for Hot Looks in 2003, which would line up well with when they started designing the dolls. In fact, the trademark for Teen Trends wouldn't be filed until December 5th of 2005, after the dolls were already released. So I'm of the opinion that the line was originally going to be a Hot Looks reboot, but maybe the name Hot Looks just doesn't quite live up to the 2000 standard, and also because Hot Looks was a quite shortly lived doll line, you couldn't really rely on like the nostalgia factor as a reason to bring consumers in. So I think they decided to go with Teen Trends instead because it just sounded more trendy. Basically. But it does seem like the change from Hot Looks to Teen Trends was pretty sudden, so maybe they just got some marketing feedback that kids did not like Hot Looks, and they changed it. Very last minute. This doll line is a little wild.
They're just like you, do what you do. Teen Trends, Teen Trends.
So here are some other tidbits that I just haven't had a place to talk about earlier in the video. One of them is that the first wave of Teen Trends packaging include a link to everythinggirl.com on them, and the second wave includes a link to teentrendsgirls.com, so a specific URL. I think it still just redirected it to the Everything Girl page, but it's interesting that they were trying to kind of like hone in on that brand and have a bit maybe more confidence in the brand itself and direct people there. I also have found a box design for Deandra that wasn't used, so it's possible maybe this was a first iteration of a design, or maybe this was going to be used for wave 3. I don't know. It is very cute though. I think in store, the outfit packs might have been displayed on this little hanger thing. So I found this on eBay, a listing which included a weekend wear hanger specifically. And because the outfit packs all came in these like frankly really nice plastic packs that have a hanger with them, it would make sense if that was the display in store shelves, which is very cute. I love a display shelf detail. And lastly, Mattel actually still has a lot of information about Teen Trends on their website. So on their customer support website, they still have listings for all the dolls. They do feature Courtney and Gabby in their Wave 2 looks, which is so funny to me because again, I can't find a Wave 2 Gabby online anywhere. But Deandra and Kiana are in their Wave 1 prototype photos, so that's interesting. If you actually go into Deandra's page on here, you can download a little instruction sheet, and that instruction sheet is actually the Wave 2 instruction sheet. So like, it doesn't mean much, but it's kind of interesting. Again, it goes to show it was fully developed, but again, I'm like, who had a Wave 2 Deandra? Can I have it? Mattel also still lists Teen Trends as one of its brands on its page, and they also still keep the trademark active. So we really could get our third wave of Teen Trends at any time, which would be crazy. Wave 3 dropping tomorrow. But it is interesting that they're keeping that trademark. I think Teen Trends was done also probably in response to Bratz. They're another doll line similar to My Scene that's Mattel's attempt of being like, we are the really trendy, fashion-forward doll. My last theory, which is not true and I have disproven for myself, but was my theory for a while researching this video, is that Wave 2 actually originally was Wave 1. I don't think that's true. I don't really have much to prove it. But that's a genuine thing I thought, so now you know that.
Yeah, that's me.
Alright, thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope this video wasn't crazy, too crazy. I thought it was kind of a fun jaunt down my own childhood memory lane with my own doll as we learn about a brand that no longer exists. But again, did you own a Teen Trend doll, or specifically a Wave 2 one? I'll stop bringing it up, but like, I want to know who has all of these. Where are they? Were they destroyed and buried next to the E.T. game in the desert? Like, Mattel? Call me. I hope you all are doing well and having a good kind of start to your spring. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!